Hello and welcome to the ADEPT tutorials. This is going to be the basic tutorial where I'm going to go over some of the basic input and output for ADEPT, along with how to use the results panel and choosing variables for the results panel. So first of all, I'll go ahead and list out all the files we'll be using here. First of all, you have your adept.jar, which is going to contain the binary Java code that we'll be running ADEPT from. And then these other 10 files are the 10 text inputs that we're going to be using. And then the CSV is just something that we're going to be overriding later. So first of all, with ADEPT, it has to be run on the correct Java version. ADEPT is compiled and runs on Java version 1.7.0, and that's the official Java version from the Sun or Oracle website, and not the OpenJDK version that Linux has. If you don't have the right version, sometimes it will give you an error. I believe it's called a class loader error, and that will cause ADEPT to crash. So if you have that kind of problem, first thing I would say would be to update your Java to the official 1.7.0. Okay, so now we can go ahead and get started on actually running ADEPT. And to do that, you type in java-jar and then adept.jar. And since this is the basic tutorial, we'll just be putting in no command arguments. Okay, and although ADEPT does require at least one input file in order for it to initialize the menus and such, so we're going to go ahead and use this file chooser, just pick out one of the files. We'll just pick out the first one. Then that'll open up the main window of ADEPT. And here we have the menus at the top here, where you have a file to add and save files, some special options, special outputs, and a little help section. And then the main window is divided into these three panels. The first one is the file panel, where you will have all the files added to ADEPT so far, either through initialization or through the file menu there. The second panel is the variables panel, where you will be choosing which data elements are pulled from each file and then put into the results panel, which is over here. So just as a little example, really quick, just to show you how the results panel looks. There it is. We've got headers for each variable and then a row for each file. So I'll go ahead and explain these variable lists here. We'll deal with custom in another tutorial in the variable lists and custom variables tutorial. So right now we'll go over this extended menu here. So the extended menu contains all of the data elements within the input files. Anything from the basic parameters to the running time. It's all in there. And all those data elements are divided into these three sections, either parameters, correlations, or non-correlations. Parameters are considered every element that's in the first section of the input files. So that's usually reserved for the parameters, and that includes both physical parameters, such as U, the interaction strength, beta, which is the inverse of temperature, and it can also include the Monte Carlo parameters, such as the random number seed. Okay, and then other than the parameters, the rest of the sections are divided into either correlations or non-correlations. Correlations are considered any of these sections which have the these point children. If you look in the input file, it'll show point, semicolon, then it'll have the dx and dy values. Those are what denote a correlation section. And then everything else that isn't a parameter or a correlation is considered a non-correlation. So here you'll find things like kinetic energy, density, and values like that. So let's go ahead and add a couple of variables in here, just so we can see what that looks like in the results panel here. So we'll go ahead and add in a correlation point, and we'll add in a non-correlation, say kinetic energy. Okay, so we've got these three values here, which could be found pretty easily just by looking into the Quest output file and just copying and pasting into whatever you need it for. But the great thing about ADEPT is that we can go ahead and do File, Add File, and let me get back up to my directory here. And what we can do is go ahead and add in however many files we want. Open. And those will be added to the file list here, and their results will be displayed here in the results panel. And if you don't believe me that these are the same files as this, you can go ahead and include file names and results. And that will include on the left here the file name associated with that row. Again, each row is data elements from this one file. And then each column is obviously the variables for each file. So now that we have all these points of data, we might want to plot them. Hence the name for ADEPT is Automatic Data Extraction and Plotting Tool, for plotting tool. So in order to get this data saved up so we can go plot it, we'll go ahead and do a save as. And I'm going to go ahead and again go up to my directory. And we're just going to overwrite this, this test file. And actually, sorry, I forgot one little thing. You can save in two different formats right now. There is the .csv, which is comma separated value, or you can save in the .dat format, which is used for graphing utilities such as GNU plot. CSV, the comma separated value, is a pretty universal format. Actually, Windows automatically opens in Excel because it's so universal. And I'll go ahead and open it here so you all can see. And there's all our data as we had it. Very easy to plot. And yeah, that's about all I've got planned for this tutorial. So join me for the next tutorials, and we'll, in the next one, in the advanced tutorial, we'll be going over the special options and special outputs. And then in later tutorials, we'll be going over the filters. And then, like I said earlier, the custom variables and variable lists. So stay tuned.